friends, it's me, Quinn. Welcome to my vlog. So today we're going to be trying out a more experimental recipe. We're going to be making pineapple ginger chocolate chip Swedish fish cookies. This recipe is inspired by a kind of offhand comment in the book Bookish Boyfriends, A Date with Darcy, which is a YA novel by Tiffany Smith. And in that book, a character makes an offhand comment about how just because you like a variety of things doesn't mean they work well together. And the example was ginger pineapple gummy bear chocolate chip cookies. And I kind of took that as a challenge because I was like, well, I think that could work. So I'm gonna make those, but I'm gonna make them vegan. So this recipe is adapted by a vegan ginger cookie from a blog a vegan baker does called Elephantastic Vegan, and the link to her recipe is going to be in my bio, in my description of this video. And then, yeah, this is kind of my attempt to add a spin to it. And then in terms of the ingredients, so we're going to be using almond milk, vegan butter, vegan dark chocolate chips, Swedish fish instead of gummy bears because Swedish fish are vegan and most gummy bears have gelatin, flour, ground cinnamon and ground ginger, crushed pineapple, baking powder, and sugar. And you do want to check that the sugar is vegan. I use Domino sugar, which a majority of their plants have vegan processing, and you just gotta check on the actual packaging where the sugar was produced. Yeah, so let's get started. So the first thing you wanna do is go ahead and set the oven for 350. So we're gonna start by mixing together all of our dry ingredients. So I'm gonna measure out 1 2/3 cups of flour. No, that's a third. Next, I need to add in 1/2 cup of sugar, then a teaspoon of baking powder, a teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and 1/2 teaspoon of ground ginger. Why is this difficult to open? There we go. All right, so now that all of my dry ingredients are mixed in, I'm gonna go ahead and add in my liquids. So I need 1/8 cup of almond milk, then 1/4 cup of vegan butter, and then 1 cup of crushed pineapple. Okay, and now it's time to mix everything together. And once you've gotten most of the liquid actually mixed in, you're gonna actually wanna use your hands to bring the dough together and actually knead using your hands. And once the dough is nice and mixed together, it's gonna be super sticky. So you're actually gonna chill it for 30 minutes before you bake it. All right, so now that the dough has been chilling for 30 minutes, it's time to go ahead and make the cookies. Because this is kind of a new experimental recipe, I'm not gonna mix the dark chocolate into all of them. I wanna try out some as just ginger pineapple. That way, if it doesn't taste well, if it doesn't work, I can identify what aspects doesn't work. So 1/2 the cookies are gonna be made just pineapple ginger, and then the other 1/2 are gonna have chocolate chips baked in, vegan dark chocolate chips, and then add the Swedish fish on top at the end. And you don't want to bake in the Swedish fish because it melts and gets weird. But so for the cookies, you're gonna roll them into a ball, smush them flat, and then lay them out. Okay, so we have about 1 sheet of just the ginger pineapple cookies. I'm gonna go ahead and wash my hands and then put these in the oven while I add in the chocolate chips to make the other tray. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put in my plain pineapple ginger batch into the oven to bake for 10 minutes. So I went ahead and added in the entire bag of the vegan dark chocolate chips, which, as you can see, is quite a lot for only half the dough, but it will be very chocolatey. So while my original flavored batch is baking, I'm going to go ahead and be working on prepping the dark chocolate chip batch. I did grease both sheets with vegan butter to help keep the cookies from sticking to them. And in terms of the actual cookie making process, I just roll a rough ball into my hands and then flatten them a little out on the tray. And with all of the chocolate chips in the vegan dark chocolate batch, it's essentially a given that those chocolate are going to stick to the tray when I try and take them off, because that's what chocolate does when it melts, it sticks to things. Okay, so I've filled this tray up, and as you might be able to tell, this dough is super sticky still. So I'm gonna go ahead and chill the rest of the dough while I wait for the first batch to bake, put these in the oven, and then clear up the tray to put these on. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. It's time to go ahead and check on that first tray of cookies, see how they're doing. Yep. They're all coming off in one piece, and you can see just a little bit. The bottom has definitely formed. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull those out and add in the next tray for 10 minutes. All right, now it's time to go ahead and pull out the dark chocolate pineapple ginger cookies from the oven. Okay, so when I transfer these onto the baking sheet, I'm also going to go ahead and press in a Swedish fish or two into each one. So I'm going to slide them off, set them down, that chocolate will be melted, and then add in that Swedish fish on top. That way it'll cool into the cookie. And I will say already, in hindsight, I probably should have gotten smaller Swedish fish to better fit the size of the cookie. And now I'm going to repeat the exact same process with the rest of the chocolate chip dough. So I'm going to make it into the cookies, bake it, add the Swedish fish. So, final product, you have pineapple ginger cookies, plain, all vegan, and then also the vegan pineapple ginger dark chocolate chip Swedish fish cookies. So I'll be giving these to some friends to taste test, see if the recipe came out okay. And if you want to hear those reviews, hear that feedback, you should read the written portion of the vlog. Thanks for watching, and hopefully these are good and you'll try them out. And if they're not good, you probably will never see this video. So yeah, thanks for watching.